It's okay. Yeah, you are in your first years, last year, so you're almost there, guys. Okay, let's wait just few minutes, maybe 5 minutes more on your friends. Okay, we have 13 now. So do you guys already viewed the video, or do you want me to repeat the slides real quick before we go to the practical part? Do you want me to go through the slides real quick before we start with the practical using PowToon? Sorry?
Yes. You can repeat quick.
Okay, good. Okay, guys, so I believe we have already, just a second. Okay. Okay, before we start, guys, we actually have 8 students left that they did not yet to submit the first assignment. So, for the students who did not submit the assignment, do you guys have any problem with the assignment?
Dr. Laszlo.
Sorry? Come again, please. I didn't hear you. Hello. Can you hear me, guys?
I send the
Okay, what I said is that I have 8 students left who did not submit. Do you want me to call their names?
Sir, please call the 8 people.
Okay, first we have Muhammad Muzammil bin Muhammad Saleh. And then we have Muhammad Akmal, Muhammad Azlan. And then we have Noor. Is it Shaizatul? Haneen binti Saiduddin.
Doctor,
Yes.
Shazatul Hadim, section 3. I have already told you.
Yeah, okay. You told me what.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, we have Amirul Rashid, and then we have, what is his name? Is it Danny? Danny A.K. Kesam.
Danny, doctor.
Denny Chaprayan.
Danny.
Okay.
Can
So,
call Denny.
all right. So, anyone of these names that I just called is online right now? None of them? Wow. And they actually used to not to scan attendance as well. So, do you guys know them? Do they have any problem attending the class? Any any of you know, any of them, these 8 people? And what about Muhammad Haikal?
Some of them got internet connection, doctor.
Okay, internet connection. Okay, Muhammad Haikal, Muhammad Firdaus. Okay. Okay, guys, what I'm going to do, if you have any contact with them, because I don't want them to actually affect their grades, okay, I'm going to extend the time for maybe 5 days more, okay, or maybe 1 week till the end of the semester break. So what I want from you is just, tell them not to miss the submission, because it's very important. Okay, guys, if you can contact them, please do tell them about the submission.
Doctor.
Doctor.
Okay, I'm going to edit the submission date.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, most welcome. So we do have 7, because one of the students has already moved to another. So 7 students. Okay, that's one thing. One more thing is that after the semester break, the first week after semester break, we are going to have our first test. Okay, it's actually very simple, very, very simple. It's like a quiz, and you are going to go through this quiz using e-learning platform. All right, and we are going to have between 10 to 20 multiple choice questions. Okay, and after that I will give you your carry mark, which is for the assignment 1 and the first test and the e-learning activity as well. So till now, up to date, we have actually covered 2 major topics, which are the graphics and then the animation. What the test will include is that you need to actually watch both the practical and the slides. So you need to read the slides or can watch the video on YouTube, and then you can just, because I believe you have already created the infographic, so you know all about the software, the application, and same goes to animation as well. That's why I'm going to go through the slides very quick, and then we can start with the PowToon, because PowToon is actually very simple application as well. I believe all of you have, some of you have used it before. And if any of you guys used PowToon before? None? Okay, good. Okay, before I share my slides, I'm going to say the names again so that you guys can tell them. First, we have Dani, and then Amirul Rashid bin Azhar, and then we have Muhammad Azlan, Muhammad Akmal, Muhammad Azreen. No, sorry, Muhammad Azreen already submitted. Muhammad Muzammil bin Muhammad Saleh, and then we have Muhammad Haikal Iskandar. Yeah, that's all. So if you guys know any of them by any chance, please contact them and let them know to submit very soon. Okay, let me share my slides. Okay, guys. So for graphics and animation, it has actually the same concept. Maybe 4 or 5 slides, and then we go for the practical. And same goes for audio and video as well. So in these slides, actually, we have categorized the each topic to, for example, the introduction, the formats, categories, characteristics, softwares, and so on. So what I want you to do, I don't want you to actually memorize. I want you to understand the whole concept, the differences between, for example, graphics and animation, the formats, differences between this one and this one, what software that we can use, what are the main categories of each media, okay? So for the animation, as we mentioned in the video, it actually converting still images to something alive that we could actually enjoy while we are watching. For example, the cartoon animation, movie animation, and so on. And why do we actually use animation? It's very catchy, very fun to watch, you know. We actually engage our students if we use the appropriate animation in our class. So there are some of the common uses of animation, entertainment and so on. We use it in education, engineering, medical, all these kind of, you know, fields of study. So animation assists with the delivery of any concept that is visually complex and dynamic. That is why, guys, animation could be a weapon with two sides, you know. It could do very good to our students, enjoy them, entertain them, but at the same time, we need to be careful about what concepts that animation movie could actually transfer to our children, you know, because nowadays it's very easy actually to, you know, play with people behavior, and they actually do that a lot, especially with the kids and the, you know, young generation, and they target these people as well. So we need to make sure before you play any animation or any video at all, and in your classroom, you need to actually watch it by yourself. If there is any, you know, misunderstanding, anything that will mislead their behavior, change their behavior, their concepts, their beliefs, and so on. Why do we use animation? It's very attractive, entertainment. You know, it's something fun for the students, you know, and it's actually something to increase the students' motivation, something to, you know, get them to participate more in class, to understand more. It's easy to actually get or give them, you know, a lot of knowledge in a short period of time, and so on. Okay. Now, for the concept of animation, when you start, you know, it was very, very hard actually in their, you know, first years, okay? But nowadays, anyone that has a laptop with, you know, a good laptop that could actually produce the animation by their own. That is why, guys, it's dangerous, you know, because it has no, you know, copyrights. It has no, you know, mentor system or anything like that. So unlike the, you know, old days, it used to be only for 1 or 2 companies that are they were like responsible for producing this kind of films or animation. So one more time, before we use this media or this tool in our education settings, we need to make sure that this is the appropriate video or the appropriate clip that is actually going to serve the purpose of the class or the objective of the class, not vice versa, not actually something to waste our time as a teacher, or not something that we could that could actually affect the students' behavior, students' beliefs, and so on. Religion sometimes. Okay, now let's go in more details about animation. Let's learn about the technique. How does it work? How they actually, create animation. How it's created. Okay, so animation, it has many types, but the two main categories is the 2D and 3D. Under these two categories, we have so many categories. For example, we have 2D animation, 3D animation, stop motion, clay, cut out animation, and we will discuss that later on. Now, how you decide which animation you will go for? Of course, first thing is the budget, because when we talk about 2D animation, it's much more cheaper than 3D. 3D actually they charge by 1 second. Maybe some companies charge between 200 to 300 USD per 1 second. You can imagine how it's going to be. It's like crazy sometimes. Okay, so the budget, the quality that you are looking for, if you are looking for some simple technique, flat, there's no need to use 3D dimensional view, or something realistic. You can go with 2D. 3D is more about realistic characters, modeling real characters, and then you try to animate them. And then the story itself, what is going to tell, how to tell this concept of the story, and so on. So this is how you decide what type of animation you go for. And these are the types that we are going to discuss in this class. Types of animation. First, we have the drawing animation, 2D, stop motion animation, clay, cut out, digital, and then 3D. Now, when we talk about 2D, guys, I want you to understand this. 2D animation, it is actually something has been drawn, whether by our hands, or drawn in the computer as well. So what we usually do when we talk about 2D animation is we bring A4, normal A4 papers, and then we draw the character. As you can see here, we draw the character using this A4, and then we scan it, and then we enter it in our computer. Sometimes you need, if the lines are not clear, you need to redraw this character in your computer, okay? And then you need to cut each part of this character apart, and then you move them together in layers, and then you move each one. This is the simplest way of doing the 2D animation. Now the other way is that, guys, that's number one. We draw a character, we cut the parts of the character, and then we move each one. For example, I will draw the whole character, and then I will cut, for example, the body, and then I will cut the hand, the right hand in one layer, the left hand in another layer, and then I can move it using the software in the computer. This is one way. The other way is that we draw the whole motion or the whole movement using papers, frameworks. How? Just like the picture that we have right here. You can see this guy is moving, on his scooter. Now, what we do is that we draw each movement frame by frame. So let's say he will go from point A to point B. So we need to actually draw this movement so that when we play frame by frame, we will get the movement. Now, this is the classic way of producing animation. And this actually consists of the concept of, frameworks. Now, in this way of producing animation, we need to produce 24 frames. It means 24 papers. Each frame has one paper. 24 frames. Each one has advanced step from the other one. So we need to produce 24 frames to be able to actually come out with 1 second movie, 1 second animation. Okay, is it clear, guys, or should I repeat? Is it clear?
Clear, Doctor, understand.
Okay, so 24 frames will produce 1 second of animation. This is how 2D work. And you can see the example here. These are the frames. This character is actually maybe jogging or walking. So you can see this example has 12 frames. When we actually decrease or increase the frames, we are actually playing with the quality of the movie. Let's say some of the movies or some of the animations, it has 36 frames per second, which means the quality is going to be high. The movement is going to be very smooth. Okay, some of them, the frames maybe 8, maybe 10, you will see animation, but the quality is going to be low because there will be gaps between each frame. Let's say I want to move my hand from this point to this point. Okay, normally if I want to actually move my hand in 1 second, so I need to draw 24 frames, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 till 24. But if I actually made 3 frames only, 1 frame, and then in the middle 1 frame, and then the last position 1 frame, you will see it like this. It's like, not smooth. It's like a gap between each one. Yeah, it's like more comic or something like that. So one thing that you need to understand about animation, as much as we have frames, more frames, the quality is going to be more. But too much is actually harmful as well. So there's actually a limit. 24, 36, that's enough. The quality is going to be very, very fine. Okay. And this is how I, like I mentioned, after we actually draw the character or anything in the paper, transparent A4, then we scan it and then we insert it in our computer. And you can watch actually this video. I have put it for you. It's like an example how to produce animation. Yeah, this is actually the old way. You can see here all these kind of papers, it will produce only 1 second, 24 papers. For the advantage is it's actually, it's like Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry actually follow this way, 2D animation. Tom and Jerry. The advantages is beautiful, attractive, but it needs a lot of work. I used to work actually in a company that produces cartoon for Al Jazeera. I don't know if you know Al Jazeera Kids channel. We used to work on a series. Okay. Our staff consisted of more than 40, 40 people. Maybe 30 or 35 of them only working on drawing, artists. Okay, only 5 people working on the computer stuff. One is responsible for scanning and then redrawing in the computer. One is responsible for creating the backgrounds using Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and so on. Only the background. And I was one of the team that is actually responsible for the animation. Okay, So how it works is that they draw the characters and then they put every movement that is actually related to this character in one file. His laughing, his talking, his walking, his running, his jogging, hand movement, everything that is related to this character. So whenever we need this character in the scene, we just recall it from the file and then we use it. Okay, but sometimes they needed to change some facial impressions and so on. So they will draw additional frames for us to add in the scene and so on. And then what we do is, after the guy who is responsible for the scanning, he will pass for somebody he is actually responsible for redrawing and coloring. Okay, when the character is ready, he will send it to us, and then we will ask the guy he is responsible for the backgrounds, and then we will take the background, and then we will start putting all the scene together based on the scenario that we have from the writers, directors, and so on. So it is actually very, very tiring process. It needs a lot of work. This is a 2D animation. Okay, now we have this stop motion. Do you guys have any idea? Yeah, a lot of time, a lot of money as well. Anyone have any idea about stop motion, how it works, stop motion animation?
Is it using clay?
Yes, one of the method is clay, yes. But how it works, the strategy, the technique?
I already saw on the Facebook, they move the character step by step, which means one move per second, I think.
Exactly. So same concept. All animation has frameworks, but what differs each type is how it works. The 2D we draw, this one clay, and the other one is stop and clay. The Shaun the Sheep series?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Okay, you just go Google it. How just type Shaun the Sheep make out. You will see how these people are crazy. Actually, they spend a lot of time. For example, okay, I have this is my object. Okay, this is Shaun, let's say. And if I want to move the hand, I will just move the hand. I'll take picture. I'll move the hand one more frame. I'll take another picture, another frame, and take another picture. It's actually a time-consuming process. This is why it's called stop motion, because we need to stop after each frame. Same goes to this is an example of this motion. They move it one frame and then they will leave it, take picture, come back. And this is how it works in the Shaun the Sheep. It's actually crazy. The time, the efforts they actually put to produce this kind of animation. Clay and stop motion almost the same. Now for the cut out animation, do you guys have any idea how the cut out animation works? Anyone? Okay, now this way is actually very, very simple. What you need to do is you need to, for example, have a body. Okay, just draw a body. Let's say this is the character body that we have, and then we put it on the software. Okay, and then what we need is we need This is the body. What we need is we need a head. This is the head of the body. So how does this method work is just moving the head and moving the hands of the character. The body will stay, without any movement. That's why it's called cut out. Cut out. If you can see here, this body is not moving, only the head is moving, or only the hands are moving. Okay, so this kind of technique, actually producing animation using flat characters, there's no any views, no 3D, nothing. Flat characters, just I mentioned, and then proper backgrounds cut from materials such as paper and so on. Okay, and this is an example of how we actually move the objects, their hand, the fingers, and so on. And most of the time, it's actually used to move only few parts of the character. You will notice that it's actually far away from being realistic, because in some animation videos you will see that the quality, the realistic scene, for example Frozen, you will feel that it's actually real. The characters, the environment, everything is real. Okay. I'm leaving the advantages, disadvantages for you guys to read. And then we have the digital computer animation, which is simply the 2D and 3D, as I mentioned. 2D, I have already explained how does it work, framework, frame by frame. And then we have 3D. 3D, when we talk about 3D animation, we are talking about a different type of work, entirely. What we do in 3D, actually, we use 3D, for example, 3D Max or Maya software, which are huge softwares to actually produce 3D animation. And then same goes to the teamwork. Now, in the 3D animation industry, we will find, some people are only specialists for modeling characters, and some people are actually specialists only on lighting, environment, background. Some people are actually only specialists on the architecture of the scene, buildings, weather, trees, the whole environment. And then some people are specialists in the animation itself. Okay, so you will not actually find one person, he is actually responsible for the whole thing. They would have ideas, but it's not actually possible to, for example, produce a whole movie with 1 or 2 people. They need to be, teams, maybe around 50, 60. Okay, this is the standard way. Sometimes, if we are talking on high quality movies, the team will be hundreds of people. That's why the budget will go above millions, 100, 200 million sometimes. Okay, so one of the modeling, and how the modeling works is actually, now if you can see from this software, 3D Max has 4 views. It will give you 4 windows. Each one is responsible to show you one view of the character or of the scene. One from the front, one from the back, one from the upper, and then one from the down. And then one of them actually is unlocked so that you can go through the whole 360 degrees. Then when you finish modeling, you will keep this character, you will save it, and then you recall it anytime you actually need. Okay, now for the this was for the technique. Now for the concept. I have already explained about the concept, which is for the 2D, it's actually made manually by hand drawing or using the computer to draw and then to color and then to animate. So to produce 1 second, we need 24 images or 24 frames. Okay. So for 1 second, imagine if you want to create a movie with 1 hour, how many frames that you are going to need, which are 2.
No, rokok
Yeah.
dia
There.
bawah.
Bawah ni.
Okay, I think he's not talking to us. And as I mentioned, animation before, Muzammil,
Yes, Doctor.
yeah, you want to say something?
No. I think the button is problem. Sorry.
Okay,
My
no problem. No problem. So previously, the companies of producing animation were only 1 or 2. That's why it was very hard actually to create animation. And the quality, if you guys have seen Snow White movie, it's actually very, very old movie, but still watchable. They watch it nowadays. You will differentiate between the quality of nowadays movies and Snow White. It's still good though, but you can see the gaps between the frames and so on. So what I want you to understand when we talk about animation production, I want you to understand these 5 concepts or terms. First, the keyframe, T-wing, frame by frame, frame rate, and onion skinning. What is the meaning of keyframe? I have explained the keyframe a lot. Anyone would like to share with me? What is keyframe? Okay, keyframe, guys, is actually 1 point of the movement. This is how you can understand it. As I mentioned, to produce 1 second of a clip or animation, you need 24 frames or keyframes. These 24 frames together will produce 1 second of animation. So the example we have seen about the rabbit or the character that was walking, each one of the movement is called keyframe. So it's 1 point of the animation. This is how we define keyframe. For example, in this motion, we have these 7 keyframes. They are not arranged actually. We need to rearrange it to get the right, let's say, movement. Okay. And this here, another example from 1 to 9, each one of these are called keyframe. Now for the tweening, tween is actually something in between. That is why we called tween, tweening. And when we talk about tweening, we are not talking about drawing frame by frame. We are talking about animation that is actually has been produced by computers. Now, when we talk about tweening, we are talking about the computer guy or the one who is responsible for the animation will only define the first position and then the last position. And then the computer will do the motion in between. That is why it's called tweening. And this is an example of tweening. This is the animation that we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, keyframes. Okay, A1 is the first position of the character. A5 is the last position. These three in between keyframes are called tweening. And this is another example. Keyframe 1 and keyframe 2. All keyframes in between is called tweening. Now, frame by frame, same as I told you, the one that we actually draw, all the movement. If you can see here, the rabbit, just focus on the legs here. You will find that actually the rabbit is walking. So when we collect all these frames together, we will get a walking animation movement. Now this one I mentioned as well about the quality. So as much as we have more frames, the quality is going to be higher. The lower the frames, the lower the quality, but we need to actually stop on one point or another. Yeah, here's an example for how many frames, the difference between the motion. For example, here the first one is in 1 second we have 9 frames. This motion now, it's not perfect, but it's okay, comparing to the second one that we have 6 frames only in 1 second. So the 6 frames in 1 second, you will notice the gaps very clearly. The motion will not be smooth at all. Maybe in the 9 frames as well, the motion will not be smooth as well. So in order for you to actually get a smooth animation, you need 24 frames per second. Okay. Guys, I'm going very quickly because I believe you have already watched the video, right? Okay. Now for the categories, as I mentioned, we have the 2D and 3D, and then we have something called visual effects animation. 2D, the one that I have already explained, we have like subtopics or headings of the 2D animation. For example, the path. When we draw a path of the character and then we let it move from one position to another position, just like this one. And this one could actually be used a straightforward line or curve line, just like this. And then we have the keyframes, just as I mentioned, same concept. And then we have the transition, which is something that we use in between scenes. For example, we change the color, we change the light, we change the movement, for example, flip, something like that. And then we have 3D, which refers to animation that has depth, It makes us able to realize that it's actually more realistic characters, something like that. And here are some differences between 2D, same character, but in 2D and 3D, you can see here, this girl, this is the 2D version, which is flat. There's nothing that we could actually see any depth in the photo. And this is the 3D character. You can actually see more realistic. Same goes for the boy, the bear, the dog. And for the third type, which is visual effects. Anyone knows What is visual effects? Anyone?
Like CGI?
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, when you guys watch movies that has a lot of car accidents, you know, fire, bombing, all these kind of things actually are not real. They are actually called VFX, visual effects, and they are produced using a software, most probably called After Effects, Adobe After Effects. This software is crazy. It can actually, you know, produce crazy things that you will not even believe. So all kind of, you know, car accidents, the fire, the bombing, the, you know, especially on, you know, action movies, war movies, and so on. They used a lot of visual effects because they cannot actually afford to do, you know, real bombing, real fire, real car accidents, and so on. So we are actually playing with the effects, creating smoke, creating clouds, all this kind of stuff. And this is an example of these special effects, how to move from one character to another. For example, one kid to being, you know, grown man, or one, you know, tiger to be an objective. For example, in this, I forgot the name of the movie, when the car actually transformed to, yeah, it's called Transformers, right? The car transformed to a robot, a huge robot, a real steel, all these kind of movies. And then we have something called wrapping, which is dislocating parts of the photo. For example, making the photo more like, you know, these funny faces, a caricature, and something like that. Finally, we have the last slide, which is the software that we use to create animation. Now, obviously, we are going to use different software to create 2D animation, and we have different software to create 3D animation. For example, if we want to create 2D animation, we will go with, let's see, yeah, Adobe Animate, Anime Studio, Toon Boom, Harmony. This one actually we used to work on in the company, Toon Boom. It's actually very, very flexible software. And previously, before the Toon Boom, before the Adobe Animate, they used to work with something called Flash. I don't know if you guys know this software. Adobe company actually bought this software, and then they have transformed it to way easier software to handle, which is called Adobe Animate. Now, it's actually very common in producing 2D animation, and this is actually the interface of Adobe Animate. You see, you can see there is actually a camera. You can go browse using a camera, and then there is this kind of timeline where you can move or animate any character, add some effects, and so on. So it's very, very advanced software for 2D animation. And then for 3D, the most let's say common and famous software, which are 3D Max, Maya, and then Cinema 4D. Okay, as I mentioned, you can actually create the character, and then the background, the environment, and then you can create your own movement or movie. Okay, for the animation part, since we are learning online, we are going to, take an idea about an application. It's called PowToon. Now, PowToon, since nobody of you has already used it before, I'm going to simplify it for you guys so that you can create your own video if you need. Can you see my browser? Can you guys see?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, good. Now, this is the interface of PowToon. If you remember when we explained about Canva, same way goes to this one. You want to register using your Facebook, your Gmail, and then if you log in, they will give you 4 days, like, access, because it's actually this software is not free. You need to pay. Okay, and this is actually the main interface of this software. We have home, we have templates, import, and blank. Templates right here, it will show you a lot. There's actually hundreds of templates that you can easily go use this template, change some of the text, some of the images, and then you are good to go. Okay, what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to use one template to change it and edit upon my wish, and then we will create one from blank, from zero. So what I'm gonna do is, let's say if you guys want to create something personal, here if you can search for CV. Okay, CV video. The good thing about this is that you actually can view the video before you go edit. All right, so let's say I want to use, okay, this one. If we click edit, you will find out that this actually a lot like PowerPoint. It consists of slides, but the difference here is that we have a timeline, the one that we actually talk about in the software, the animation software. So here you will get the slides of this project, which are 14 slides. Okay, and how you can edit each slide of them, simply by click on the slide, and you will notice, okay, this is the keyframe or the timeline of this slide. Okay, so this slide actually consists of 6 seconds here. You can see, guys, 6 seconds of this slide, and this is the timeline, as I mentioned. Now in the timeline, you will see all the objects that will show in this slide. For example, here, number 2, if you double click, you will see that this one goes to my name. Where is it? Yes. So just double click here and then maybe my name. Then you can actually move it like this. In case this image is not actually appropriate, because obviously she is not Hassan, you just select and delete, and then you go to images here. Okay. Under free images, maybe you can look for male. No results. Okay. White male. Okay. Oh. Anyway, this is the image. Oh, you can upload your own image. Actually, you can upload it. Okay, my name is. Okay, this is the first slide. If you want to play the first slide, you just click play here. And you will notice that there's actually another slide that shows here. So what I want to delete the name from here, and I want to type it here. So each one will be in one layer. Okay, let's play again. Okay. If you want to go for the other slide, just click on it and then start editing as well. And I've got the, I don't know what I've got. I will just leave it X factor. Okay, you can. I am creative with non-stop. You can actually change all these images, all the texts. Okay, and then when you are done, you can simply play the whole. And one thing you could actually do is the transition between each slides, just like PowerPoint, but this one in a video format. So if you want to change the transition between each slide, here you just click. You will find out this is the name of the transition, which is called slice vertical. I wanted to zoom in, for example. Now the name has changed to zoom in. Let's play and see. See, this is the transition. How to change the transition. So I can change the content, the images, the transition between slides, and one more thing I can do is actually I change the look. If you go here, guys, this is called real look, which is real because we are using real images. If I want to do like more cartoon, more whiteboard, modern age, real, infographic, you can choose from here. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to go for creating a blank one and then creating by my own, not using any templates. Okay, so to do that, you go for create, and then you can actually choose from what type of videos that you are go with. For example, is it infographic, whiteboard actually mostly are used to create book review or a report of something, or you can import from PowerPoint if you have. And then finally you have blank. When you click blank, you will get these four categories. First, we have capture. Capture if you want to actually record your screen. Okay, we are not going to use that. And then we have horizontal, square, vertical. Horizontal is actually for more HD, high quality videos, width video. Okay, and then we have square and vertical. Square if you are looking for something to post on Facebook or on Instagram, not the story, the real posts. And vertical if you want to do story of Instagram or Facebook. So it has the real measurements, so that when you create the video, you will not need to change anything. Okay, let's go ahead and maybe choose vertical. Okay. Okay, now when you choose the dimensions of the video that you are going to create, now it will let you choose the look. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go with cartoon look. Okay, this is the background and these are the slides. You can actually see that there is only one slide because it's not a template. We need to create from the beginning. To be able to add more slides, just simply click here, blank slides, and you will get another one, third one, fourth one, and so on. So we'll go to number one slide. What we need to do is we need to create an introduction, or intro to our video. So to do that, you just go to intros here. You will find out there are so many intro slides that you can use it. Okay. Let's say I want to use this one. But since this one is actually vertical, you need to edit the character that you have, okay, based on the dimensions. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to delete all these text right here, and I'm going to only leave this one after I move it a little bit, this one too. Okay, and then I'm going to add a text. Maybe I want to delete this one as well. I'm going to add a text by myself. So I just go to text. Now, when you click text, you will find out there are some text without any formatting or styles. And some of them comes with, banners, styles, designs, and so on. I'm going to go with video title. Let's see. Okay. I don't know what happened. I'll choose another text. Okay, one thing you need to actually be aware of when you add any object or text or anything to your slide, you need to make sure it's going to actually start from the beginning of the slide here in the timeline. So let's say I want to play this video. Notice that the text is not actually appearing. Why? Because actually it is at the end of the video. So what you need to do is click on it and then just move it until the maybe after 1 second or so. Okay, and then maybe you can type welcome. And then if you play it, okay, we can add another. Okay, the character is maybe way too big. So let's play it now and see. Okay, now the only problem that we have is the text. We're going to extend the text until the end. So what I did is I go to the edge of the text and then extend it to the end of the scene. If you play it now, you will find out the text is actually going to stay till the end of the scene. Okay. Now, if you want to edit the text itself, the color, the size, when you type, you will find out this window will pop up. This is going to give you the ability to change the font type, okay, the color. Maybe we need something white here. Maybe the size as well. Okay. Let's see, that's it for the first slide. Then next slide, we will go with scenes. We'll go back to scenes, and then we will not go to intros. We will go to, for example, specific or situations. Right. Let's see this one. Yeah, this one can fit to studying at home, because I know you guys don't know, you don't like working from home, studying from home. So if we can play it now, this is what we can get. So the character here is actually out of the scene. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to edit the character. Yeah, this one. So I'm going to move it until the beginning of the scene, and then extend it. Just like that. Okay, this is number 1. Okay, and then you can add another text as well. or you can change the character, if you will. These are sets of characters that you can choose from, whether girls, boys. You can just delete this character and then add anyone upon your wish. Okay, if you select any of these characters, just go above the character by your mouse, you will find all the different motions, different feelings. Okay, let's say I want to select this character right here, and then I will choose angry. So it's actually the same. If I play it, this is what I can get. Okay, so this is actually the idea behind using this software. Now, if we want to create another one, for example, you want to do more like advertisement of your business, what you can do is you can simply go for some template. If you want to go for real, okay, this is the blank. You can go for scenes here. Welcome intro. Let's say this one. Anyone selling coffee here? And then you can start adding the menu, put some images. For example, if I go here, backgrounds, I'll stick with the same style, so I will just go with the color, plain color. Let's go for something dark. Okay, or this one maybe. Yes, and then we will go to, for example, to images. Here we'll type coffee. Okay, maybe this one. And then okay. And then maybe we can go for a text. We change the color. We change the style. And then we put it here. And then we can add some subtitle for, you know, and so on. We can add all the text, and then we create the motion of the menu, the items of the menu, and then finally we can create another slide for the ending of our scene or our video. Thank you, and your details. Let's go using this one. Here maybe you can add your logo, your details, contact number, and so on. So this is the idea about this application. Is it clear to you guys? Guys, are you
Clear, Doctor.
still with me?
Yeah, clear, Doctor.
Okay, so what you guys need to do, just a second. Yeah. Yeah, what you need to do is you need to create infographic video. So what you need to do is go create here, create infographics. You can simply choose from any of these video and just edit. You don't actually need to go from zero. And here you can choose any template that is actually related to you. For example, if you want to use it for education, you can choose Edio, and then you will find these templates right here. And then you can choose any template and edit. Okay, guys? So one more time before I end our meetings. There are 7 students who did not submit the first assignment. Please go ahead and submit the assignment soon. I have extended the date of submission for 1 week. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is that next week is semester break. So next Wednesday is actually a holiday. The Wednesday after that, the following Wednesday, is going to be our first test. Okay, so make sure nobody's absent. Make sure all of you is going to actually be there for the test. The test is going to consist of 20 multiple choice questions. The content of the test only for the animation and graphics in education. Okay. Make sure to watch all the videos I have recorded, including this video and Canva, both practical and the content as well. Okay, guys? I have no problem at all to give you all A+, but you need to work with me. Just show me that you actually care, and I have no problem. All right, guys? Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Happy holidays, and I'll see you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Alright, Doctor. Thank you.
Take care,
Assalamualaikum.
guys.
Assalamualaikum, Dokter.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum,
Assalamualaikum,
Dokter.
Dokter.
Assalam.